And, off camera, he was asking me about a lot of the street guys that I interviewed, like the Keefe D, who was involved in Tupac's murder, or this guy, Brian Glaze Gibbs. He was this kind of gangster / hitman from Brooklyn that I guess Mike knew growing up. So one of the questions I asked was, hey, it seems like, you're cool with a lot of street guys. And Mike was like, what do you mean by that?
Oh.
And it was sort of this moment, I'm like, well, it seems like you know these guys. What are you trying to say? Here you are, this multimillionaire, and, it seems like you've always been attracted to the guys that are still in the streets to a certain degree. Do you think that's a fair statement?
You think I'm attracted to them?
Well, not attracted to them, but I mean, you like having them around. You're friends with them, and you maintain.
You think I like having them around?
I'm just asking.
You think I'm friends? What do you think? You think I like having them around?
You just spoke nicely about Zip, so I just thought.
Yeah.
Sit back and think about that. Look at that interview, okay? That's Vladtv and Mike Tyson. And basically right now is when you look at that and people do not understand, here it is, you can't stop people from growing up where they grew up at. You can't stop people from liking who they like. The difference is right now, when you grow up in certain section, I don't care, they got ghettos everywhere. I'm talking about right now, Mike Tyson, okay? One of them baddest men, you know what I'm saying? Baddest man, pound for pound, okay? Here it is right now is, him again, Mike Tyson. The difference is right now, he grew up in Brownsville, okay? Brooklyn, New York, Brownsville, one of the roughest area in New York City. And the difference is right now, when you grow up in those type of environment, guess what? You're not gonna just grow up with regular people, like the teachers, the sanitation workers, the mailman, the milkman, you just go to the correction officer, the police officer, the doctor, the nurse. Basically, when you grow up in Brownsville, guess what? Especially the kids, you know what? They are known to be rough around the edge. Guess what? They've been fighting all their life, fighting for a meal, fighting for a new pair of sneakers, fighting for a new coat, new shirt, new pants, new anything. The difference is, it is two totally different worlds. But it's up to us to make the best of the situation. So even right now, as you look at it, or you listen to that interview with Vlad, and Vlad basically right now saying to Mike, what? You're attracted to these street dudes. Off the camera, you was asking me about Keefe D, you asking me about Brian Glaze Gibbs. People, what you got to understand is right now is, guess what? You know who you know. Who you know, and who you don't know. And the difference is right now, when you're growing up in these apartment buildings, I say right now, when I grew up in Cypress has 7 floors, 7 different apartments. So that's like 49 different families, okay? And how many buildings does Cypress have? Okay, 30. So what I'm saying, when you grow up in these type of environment, guess what? You don't know who your neighbor gonna be. You're gonna know who your neighbor gonna be, or who your neighbor gonna turn out to be. Is your neighbor going to come out to be a law-abiding citizen? Or your neighbor going to come out and be, a drug dealer, stick-up kid, same pickpocket, rapist, arsonist? You don't know. You do not know. But the difference right now is what we have to do is what we do know, we have to know ourselves. We have to get true identity to ourselves. And what we have to do is surround ourselves around positive people each and every day. Despite, we'll grow up in a negative environment. What we have to do is, how do you make the best of it? Because once again, everybody in the street, in the ghetto is not bad. Guess what? That's the situation. That's the cause that we was dealt at that present time. Okay? Was it rough? Yes, it was rough. I'm saying right now, when you got to fight for a meal, guess what? You go to school and you know what? Here it is. You hungry. So only meal you probably getting as a kid probably was when you went there for breakfast, when you went there for lunch. So the difference is right now you're hungry. So you got some of these kids that didn't eat. Guess what? When they go to school, guess what? They're beating you up, taking your breakfast, taking your lunch, because they are more hungry than you are. And that's the difference. That's what Mike was talking about. Mike was talking about, look what happened to Mike. The baby right now, he came up in an environment. And you know what happened is he went away. And when he went away, as far as right now, as a juvenile, and guess what? Just so happened somebody else, like the late Casamato, they snatch him up under the wing. And they train him, and they work with him. And guess what? He became, pound for pound, you know what I'm saying, the heavyweight champ of the world. And when that happened, what happened with that? Look who that man is now. Look what that man done. He done did everything in his life from A to Z, but he bounced back. But just because he became pound for pound the heavyweight champ of the world, he didn't forget where he came from. Once again, like Mike, he been in these. He been in the penitentiary. He been in these jail cells. And the bottom line is a lot of people that he know throughout the United States, especially in Brooklyn, was his homeboys. We grew up. We did things together. And guess what? He changed. He was able to escape. How many people can escape? How many people can say that they escape? A lot of people like to say they escape, but did they really escape? Or are they still trapped? You know what I'm saying? Trapped in that world. Trapped in that underworld, people. I'm talking about right now, listen, what we have to do is, and like sit back and think about it. Who are we? What are we? What are we doing? What are we doing with our life? Okay? How can we be better today than we was yesterday? Easy. That's what I want to know. How can anybody be better today than they was yesterday? You know how you can be better today than you was yesterday? You got to basically discipline yourself. You got to read. You got to, like, to me, right, I wish I would have came up right now with all the social media. Guess what? I'm talking about right now, we had a encyclopedia. We didn't have no internet. We had a encyclopedia. And guess what? That's how we learn. You have to study like that. And that was a big, huge thing to that. That was, you know, what I'm trying to say right now, that was huge. That was very huge. And what I'm saying is this, folks, listen, man, it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. It's like, you know, getting everything together and how you finish. That's what life is all about. What I'm saying, listen to these guys right here. Karl Kani and Mike Tyson.
Go shopping. Guess what the problem was? We have to worry about not getting robbed, coming back home with the clothes. Yeah. That was the drama.
Because the robbers waiting right in front of the store. If they hanging out, smoking, chilling right in front of the store. Yo, who's that? Oh, that's some boy. Nah, I don't know this name.
Get him.
Yeah.
Get him. Get him. And that's what we dealt with on a daily basis.
Yeah, we too. All those, what was those guys called? What was the shower posse?
Yeah. Who, tutting them?
Yeah, you gotta worry about them guys. But we only had to worry about those guys in Vladtv and stuff. You know, we all knew Glaze and Tut and all those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, guys, even right now, like you say, here it is, like, look what these guys saying. They know me, my man Tut. Okay, cool. Here it is, Mike mentioned something about the shower posse. The shower posse was, like I told you right now, was coming up as kids. Even right now, Mike talking about 11, 12 years old. So back then, he's 11, 12, we 13, 14, coming up going against the shower posse. You didn't have no ones going against the shower posse. Even though right now is, guess what? Look at the heavyweight champion. What he's saying is this, man, going against the shower posse. Here it is, even when we was kids, guess what we had? We had little 22s. The most we probably had 25 automatic. The shower posse had submachine. They had Uzi. They had machine guns or whatever. I'm talking about they had big 45, 9mm. So the difference is, how can you go against, and most of them was older. So how can kids go against older gentlemen? But that's what happened is. What happened is, those older gentlemen, you're saying, should have been teaching us, showing us, letting us know, listen here. You little knucklehead, it's not worth it. I'm talking right now is none of that stuff y'all doing out there, you know, stealing, robbing, you know what I'm saying, selling drugs, you know, pickpocketing. None of that is worth nothing. Only thing is worth, you going to the penitentiary. You going to the penitentiary. And what I'm just trying to say right now, folks, that's not the way, man. Sit back and look at it, man. Let's help one another each and every day. Share, you know what I'm saying, share your knowledge. Share your experience. Share your advice. Share it in a positive way. Like I told you, regardless of what, if you apply yourself, guess what? You can be anything that you want to be in life. You know, if you want to be the baddest rapper, you want to be like Jay-Z or whatever, guess what? If you apply yourself and you believe in it and you practice and you get the opportunity, you can be the next Jay-Z. Okay? Here it is right now is, guess what? If you want to be the next LeBron James, if you practice, if you stay out of trouble, keep your nose clean, keep your grades up, guess what? You can be the next LeBron James. Guess what? If you want to be the president of the United States, guess what? Anything is possible. What you have to do is keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble. I'm talking about work, go to school, get that education. I'm talking about right now, stand for something, because if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. Guess what? If you want to be the heavyweight champion, guess what? Like Mike, be like Mike. Guess what? You can do that. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you at. It's not too late. Guess what? You can be anything that you want to be. You just got to believe it. If you can believe it, guess what? You can achieve it. Listen, like I say, my name is Glaze Gibbs, and I'm not your typical minister. My life story is my ministry. And what I seek to do is I seek to share my life experience to any and everyone that's at risk and that's listening, to get them to understand that crime doesn't pay. That I, the one they call Glaze Gibbs, can change. Anybody can change. Could change come from within. Listen, man, hit that like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, Glaze Gibbs. Listen, get your signed copy of the Beyond Lucky, the Glaze Gibbs story. A true story of crack, money, murder, and redemption. A true story letting you know if I can change. If Mike Tyson, can change. If anybody can change, guess what? It comes from within. Crime doesn't pay. Stop making that multi-billion-dollar prison system your permanent address, man. Guess what? It's not worth it. What's cool? There's nothing cool about that, folks. Like I tell you right now, what we have to do is teach one. Help one, uplift each other, empower one another. Stop being each other's enemies. We're better than that. So once again, take it for somebody that knows. Like I told you, I was once the problem. Now I'm seeking to be part of the solution. If I can change, anybody can change, folks. And what I'm trying to say right now, there's no shortcut in life. I'm not proud of the things that I have done. I am ashamed. But right now is I was granted more than one chances, 2 chances, 3 chances. I was granted several chances. And you know what? I refuse to let my mother teaching and the upbringing continue to be in vain. You know what? I love my mother. And because of my stupidity, my action, guess what? When she passed away, I couldn't go to the funeral because I was incarcerated. And I ain't had nobody to blame but myself, folks. Don't be a loser like me. Don't be a loser like all the other losers out there. Listen, man, if they not adding value in your life, what they doing, they taking value away. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. If they're not adding value into your life, they taking value away. I don't care who it is, man. If they're not adding value, stay away from them. Because once again, only thing they're going to do is lead you to that road of what? Self-destruction. I'm talking about, I've been down that road. Mike Tyson been down that road. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people been down that road. And guess what? What we're doing now is letting you know going down that road is not worth it. Some people go down that road, never made it back. It's only a chosen few that's able to survive, you know what I'm saying, and remain strong mentally. Because once again, when you go down the road, it take a lot out of you. Emotionally, physically, and mentally. And it's not worth it, folks. Once again, like I say, thank you for joining me. I am the one they call Glaze Gibbs.